Southern Borough Council meeting to order. Please stand and join me in a moment of kind of reflection. Not the man of much. I believe in the United States of America, which is republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. First on the agenda, we are looking to approve the consent agenda for the minutes and recurring bills. Can I please have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda for the July 6, 2026 council meeting. I'll second.
Motion by Councilor Dill, second by Fox. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, presentations and correspondences. Jeff Simony is not here for Saturday Connect tonight, but Daryl is going to fill us in as we sit on their board.
All right, so for Connects, we have our July 3rd Friday, which will be next Friday on the 17th. Jess also wanted to mention that the newsletter should be coming out this week. So those of you that are signed up to receive the Connects newsletter should be out by the end of the week. And then a reminder about the Saturday Wellness event, which is on August 9th from 10 to 2 in Rotary Park. They're still looking for local businesses to sign up for it. So she'll be reaching out to those businesses later this week to invite them to participate in the wellness event. That's it.
Awesome. Any questions for Daryl about others?
That wellness event is in the park.
It's in the park. Yeah.
Up next, Indian Valley Public Library, Dr. Granby. Nice to meet you, Doctor.
Thank you very much. And thank you for reappointing me to this position. Obviously, I'm not tenured. She's taller and has more hair. So you have to kind of put up with me for tonight. The library is the hub that we hoped it would be. I'm not sure if everybody gets a report every month. If you don't, ivfield.org, or I can make sure that Tracy gets information for your packet. To date, 456,947 items have been checked out. So that is a tremendous amount. 63,000 audiovisual, 72,000 digital, and museum passes. And so there's a lot of things going on at the library. We have been absolutely lucky to have outstanding leadership. And that's the reason why we continue to grow and thrive. Another thing too is we started the library of things. You may need a drill, you may need a shovel, you may need a bike, you may need some. Once again, you can rent these or take them out, sign them out like you would the book. And don't forget these special passes. They will get you into 25 different types of agencies, if not libraries, museums in Philadelphia, special gardens at no cost. Your library card is your ticket. And all you have to do is reserve it in advance, and the rest is up to you. So another thing that we've been working on is our technology. As part of our strategic plan, one of our goals was to make the library even more accessible to governmental groups, local business industries. So if they want to do training sessions or those kinds of things, that room would be available. We're not quite there yet. The technology is better, but that's the next part of our second goal. So that's a little bit about the library. If you have not been there, please take the time to go. Arrange for a tour. In times we've had board members from the different municipalities come in. I would be happy to escort you around. Hopefully we'll see you at the Beer Fest a little later on in July. I'll be at the visitors table and everything, so stop up and say hi. And this is the official part of my report. The second part of my report is unusual and official. One of my favorite philosophers is Yogi Berra. And he said, it's deja vu all over again. And that's me tonight. It is deja vu all over again. This building is sacred ground to me. It is my North Star. 35 feet down that hallway in 1966, a 22-year-old whippersnapper from Delaware County took a job in Suderton, and I quickly found out it was Salverton, as a teacher down that hallway. And for the next 60 years, I have been committed to this town, this district, the agencies, so forth and so on. And my journey is not over yet. So as I said, it's very, very personal besides the official component. Obviously, when I started out at that point in time, I was 6'2", had dark hair and had hair. Otherwise, education's had no impact on me whatsoever. But anniversaries are not just simply for show and tell. They remind us and they ask us to reconnect to our strengths of our institutions. And I cannot thank you enough for reappointing me to this institution, which I have been part of for close to 60 years too. I was one of the people in the district that arranged to have the library where it is now. Bill Maxwell and I work with the municipalities, and the rest is history. And we hope that relationship stands. In closing, because I know I was a borough council in Bucktown at one time, you have a busy agenda. Quote from a Franciscan priest that I heard 15 years ago, it's my mantra now. You do not think your way into a new way of living. You live your way into a new way of thinking. And that's what I've tried to do for this town, for my family, for Salvatonians. And thank you very much. I appreciate to have this little remembrance on my head. So thanks once again. I appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing your history. That was really lovely. Actually, we're lucky to have people who've been here a long time and are willing to tell us their tales. Dan's a big fan. Hell.
Right.
Which leads into administrative report, Mr. Mayor.
Gosh, it's like we planned this. I wasn't gonna mention this, but since Dr. Grandy mentioned it, we're doing this Souderton Legends podcast, which released 2 weeks ago. So if you haven't listened to it yet, it's on YouTube. We had one interview with Jamie Alabach, whose uncle was Charlie Alabach and sat in the seat for decades. And then with Dr. Ruth, that's the one that I sent all of you. This week is with Tom and Judy Leidy, who are of Leidy's Meats and whose family has lived here for 300 years, 299 to be exact. And then the following week is an interview with Dr. Grandy, who didn't mention it, but was superintendent of the Souderton School District, along with Charlie Amuso, who was superintendent. And then after that, we have 6 more episodes. So I have no expectation that anyone will actually listen to them, but I had fun recording them, and you'll hear, if you enjoyed what he just said, that's the reason we're doing that. So thank you. This month, we gave out 2 keys to the borough, which are unofficial, but good presentations. One for the Business and Professional Women's Club, who celebrated their 75th anniversary. And then also one to Univest, who's celebrating their 150th anniversary. And that was in honor of their support of Concert Sundays for the last 40 years. And Concert Sundays is still ongoing. Last night, for the first time in our 40-year history, we canceled the concert because the weather was bad, and the high school where we have an alternate venue was without power. So we've had in 40 years 400 concerts, and that was the first one that was canceled. But we'll be back next week with Gypsy, which is a 60s folk band. And that is my report.
Next up, Chief O'Brien.
Okay, ma'am, thank you. A hiring update. The application deadline closed on July 1st. We have 65 applicants. I'm pleased with this number. Earlier today, we sent out an email reminding all the candidates of pertinent information for the upcoming written and physical examination. And I also personally called every candidate today because there can be a drop off from people who fill out applications to getting actual people in the seats. I'm trying to keep the no-show number at 10 to 15%, which is going to be difficult, but I feel better after the phone calls today. Obviously, if we lost 10 to 15, we'd have about 50 candidates actually sitting for the examination. And that's a number I feel very comfortable with. The written examination is this Saturday, 11 July, and the fire department has been gracious enough to allow us to use their facility. And as always, I'm thankful for their support. Traffic calming measures on School Lane. Since one of the last meetings, I've been working with the borough manager and the public works director. We had traffic calming signs that had been ordered about a week ago. So when they come in, obviously they'll be getting placed as in coordination with Jason. I appreciate both of your help in this. Another issue about speed was a speed study on Main Street I was directed to take a look at. Last week we had the traffic box that records information. I got the data on Saturday, but I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and look at it and put it together yet. But I anticipate having that ready by the workshop meeting to present to this council. We did 11 community-related events in June, so I'm always happy with that number. And I would just like to say a thank you real quick in reference to the storms that came through this weekend. Not only Jason, you know what I think of you and your people and get these roads open, but also the fire department, the fire police. Yesterday, I actually got a call from the fire department asking if there was anything that they could do for me. So I never want to have that kind of a gracious outpouring without recognizing it before this gets. The monthly stats are prepared. I believe council has a copy and they'll get posted tomorrow. And as always, I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief O'Brien?
I would just add for the comment about the storm, first of all, kudos to you and your team, no problems. And to open up this building, even if no one took us up on the offer, was a huge step that I did not see other communities do, so that meant a lot. But also the fire company, this is a great community connection story. Emmanuel Lutheran Church has their email program, they lost power, they were gonna lose everything in their freezers and their refrigerators, and the fire company stepped up and provided them the use of their backup generator, and then thus saving. So one nonprofit supporting another was really nice to see in the storm. So good job, Souderson.
Yeah.
Do we know if everybody has their power back on or?
Yeah.
Oh, they do, good.
Okay, Public Works, Stephen.
Public Works Department report for the month of June. We had a total of 835 man hours for the month of June, running from June 1st to June 28th. Some work that we have done over the past month. Municipal buildings and equipment maintenance, we did repair to the pool bathhouses, repair work to the park bathhouses. Leaf machine has been repaired, street sweeper has been repaired, and we rebuilt a lift cylinder on truck number 6534. General highway work, vehicle maintenance, trim the shade trees on Main Street. Brush was completed, 6.86 tons of brush was collected. Street line painting is started. And I want to say thank you very much to the police chief. We went out and we were tasked with doing the crosswalks at County Line and Broad. And I contacted the chief and he had absolutely no problem coming out and providing traffic safety for us. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. And street sweeping has started up again once we got the sweeper repaired. Storm sewer work, we repaired a sinkhole in front of 19 Central Avenue, and we cleaned out multiple storm sewer inlets. Sanitary sewer work was PA1 calls. Parks and Recs, we have routine bathroom checks and trash checks. Park cleanup. New fencing has been installed around the pickleball court and across the walking bridge down at West Street Park. And playground equipment for West Street Park and Chestnut Street Park has been delivered. Swimming pool. Pools are open. Pool chemical checks. cleaning and teaching new employees about our systems. So I'm trying to get our new employees trained on the operations of the pool itself, the filters, if there's any issues, so we can add them into a rotation for issues along those lines. Sick and holiday, we have 92 hours of vacation and half an hour sick. Overtime was for third Friday's cleanup, weekend park rentals and pool checks, and also deploy generators for the traffic light at West Broad and Washington for pallet day. That is my report.
I have one question, since you talked about the fencing, the pickleball court. I just don't remember where we landed on this, and you might. We had previously at some point talked about fence either just on the ends of the basketball court or around it. Did you decide how to do that?
Basketball,
Yeah.
back here.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Okay.
about the basketball courts if there was fence all the way around.
Mhm.
I can look into it and
Prohibited when we looked at it. Eventually. They asked me the other day and I couldn't remember where we had left off on it. Any other questions for you? Alrighty, solicitors report, Mr. Trente.
Yes, thank you. I have submitted my report. I'd just like to point out two items, the sale portion of Cherry Lane. That settlement is scheduled for Wednesday of this week at 2:30. And number three, trash bid specs. The RFP has been advertised. Bid opening will be this Friday, July 10th at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
10 o'clock in this room. There was a pre-bid meeting in the middle of June. 4 haulers did appear for that mandatory pre-bid meeting. One was Casella or Whitetail. The other was JP Mascaro. It was Republic and a fourth. Who was the fourth?
AG Belinsky.
AG Belinsky, sure. So there was some questions at that meeting. I did issue an addendum to the haulers that did attend that meeting to clarify any issues they had. So that's my report. Any questions from council or?
I know we don't know until Friday, but do we anticipate bids from all 4 of those?
I believe so. Yeah, I received email questions prior to the pre-bid meeting from Casella and Mascara. But I do believe the way they were acting at the pre-bid meeting, there was interest there, and that they'll all be submitting to the borough.
Awesome. Any other questions? For our solicitors?
Can you talk us through then what happened after that? If Friday is the submission, then what?
So what'll happen at the meeting, we'll tally what the bids are, we'll look at all the bid sheets. We'll see if there's anything that's maybe missing that required by the bid specs, maybe the bond or, whatever it is that's required. And then that'll be, presented to council to review and, ultimately to make a decision on who to award the contract to. And not only to award the contract to a specific hauler, but how to award it, whether it's 3 years, whether it's, 5 years, whether it's 5 years and, 2 one-year options. So there's a lot of different choices there.
So it was scheduled intentionally to be due on the 10th, so that there was a week to review paperwork before work session, with the idea that then at work session, we could have discussion and then potentially award at our August meeting.
And we aren't required necessarily to choose the lowest bid.
The threshold is lowest responsible bidder. So if they fail to submit something that's required, that is concerning, that's required by the bid specs, like a bid bond, for instance, you have the right to, not award it to that hauler based upon something like that. It depends what it is.
And potentially we could have the right to not vote in August, should that come up, and go back for more.
You have 60 days to award or reject. You could reject the bids and rebid it if you so desire. And you don't have to give a reason to do that.
Okay.
So even if there is a lowest responsible bid, we don't necessarily need to accept it.
Correct. We're not all.
You could reject all the bids, that's correct. Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Borough manager.
John stole two off my list, so mine got a little bit smaller. The annual audit, is beginning this week. They'll be out on Wednesday to start the process. They're completing 2024's, with some of the paperwork from the prior auditor, and then they're doing the full 2025 year with us. So, I don't anticipate them being done this week. I think we're just kind of getting started. With it being a new auditor, there's a lot of paperwork and backside work that needs to be done, but we're compliant time. Tomorrow there will be a Battle of the Badges theme blood drive here at the office in this room. It's from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can register in advance, or I think you can just show up, right?
Yes, they will take the appointment first, so if you just show up, you may have to.
And there's a link online to do that. And then the last is the holiday weekend at the pool was really busy. We generated $10,000 in pool revenue just from Friday to Sunday. So we were busy, but it was worth it. We had a good weekend.
And that's on top of us already being $22,000 ahead of last year.
Yeah, that was, we did, on July 4th alone, 5,000 in daily pass sales. We did 4 on Friday. Yesterday was not very busy just with the weather, but between memberships and the daily revenue just from Friday to Sunday, it was over $10,000. So
You know how that compares to last year's same time period?
I didn't pull, I haven't made it that far to pull just for the weekend, but we're still $20,000 ahead in membership sales from last year. And I think we were 10,000 ahead in daily pass sales from last year based off of like as a whole.
Right.
It's definitely worth it to have the daily pass sales on the holiday. I think the majority of the people that were there were, I know that the majority of people that were there were daily pass people, for July 4th specifically, but we didn't have any incidents. We had a save, I think, but it was handled well. We did cooler checks. I personally did some cooler checks. There was no alcohol, no police incidents. Like we had a very busy but good weekend.
Yay, that's good. Awesome. Any questions for Sarah? All right, committee update. Go ahead, the committee report.
Two.
Go for it.
Okay, so first is outreach. We were extremely well received at our first visit to Concert Sundays, so much so that Dan Hauser volunteered to take all of our stuff, put it in their closet, and set it up every week. We are not going back every week, but we will go back once in July and August, and we will decide this Wednesday at our meeting what those dates will be. We also had a great reception from the people attending Concert Sundays, and not just Solderton people. A lot of people from the people that come from all over and very engaged and chatting, and it was just a really good experience for a first time. So that was good. We do have our Cocktails with Counselors event on July 30th at Branch Creek Tap House, which I don't remember what time that is. Yeah, I think that sounds familiar. So we'll be there. And that's it and we have our meeting obviously on Wednesday, like I just mentioned. Second committee is Public Works and Wastewater Treatment. Our newly reformed committee met this past week. Sarah did a fantastic job of getting us all up to speed because several of us were just not familiar with what was going on, and hopefully we'll have good things going forward.
Excellent. Thank you.
I have finance. So the borough's financial position remains healthy. We were expecting tax collections that were due, and they have now been received. The revenue collections are consistent with projections and expenditures and are being managed responsibly. Unless there's unforeseen emergencies or significant revenue declines, the borough is expected to finish the fiscal year within the adopted budget. So the committee is following these recommendations. Continue monitoring operating expenditures monthly. Review capital projects schedule to ensure timely completion. Monitor grant opportunities and prepare preliminary budget estimates for the upcoming fiscal year during the third and fourth quarter. That's it.
Thank you. Anyone else? In that Charlie's absence, then I will just talk about public safety quickly. Chief already mentioned that based on public response, we looked at traffic calming measures at Chestnut and School Lane. So we're going to implement those in baby steps, see how it affects speeding in that area, and if necessary, proceed accordingly. So one step at a time, we'll see how it goes. The police will monitor speeding in that area, and we'll see if further action needs to take place. That's really kind of it, other than what we're going to get to, the e-bike ordinance, which the committee has been reviewing for some time. So I will leave that until we get to it. Now I will open it up for public comment. If you're a resident, property owner, business owner, you are welcome to come to the podium. Going twice. So, the business of the night. I am going to hand these over to the solicitor and borough manager to tee up as they come. The first is the advertising for the e-bike ordinance.
Yes, I'll take that. The e-bike ordinance has been drafted in conjunction with Sarah, the safety committee, and Chief O'Brien. There's been some edits based upon some comments and feedback received from the safety committee and Chief O'Brien. There were some provisions in the initial draft that maybe regulated regular bicycles in the park, and those have been removed per the safety committee's recommendation. Basically what it does is it governs e-bikes or e-scooters on borough property and streets in the borough. If the e-bikes or e-scooters are over the capability of going over, or I should say under, or up to 20 miles per hour. Anything over that is regulated by Pennsylvania law, much like a motorcycle or an automobile. It has to be registered, and it's just a different bucket. So this covers just those e-scooters and e-bikes that are that can operate up to 20 miles per hour. Mr. Benchik did give me some comments about the ordinance recently. One of those had to do with an inconsistency in section 2, which is the second sentence. There may be a question if it's inconsistent with where this can be regulated. It talks about regulations on streets in the borough, and that second sentence, it does state that it does not address motorized bikes and vehicles on roads and streets in the borough. So there is some inconsistency there. So my recommendation would be to authorize the advertising if council is inclined to do so, but subject to the revision that second sentence in section 2 be deleted. Okay, and I'm comfortable with moving that with that second sentence. So that's the background on it. So if there are any questions, I can answer those now, or and clarifications. It does get into a lot of detail about how you have to pass people, where you can ride them, how fast you can go, what type of equipment kids have to wear, helmets and the like. So it's pretty detailed.
Can I ask a question on the other side of the room for the chief about this? Comparing like what teeth this gives you that you don't have now.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that one more time, Jimmy?
This, if we pass this ordinance, what teeth does this give you on enforcing that you don't have now?
I think there's some question. The vehicle code covers a lot of what we're trying to when they're on the streets. But this park and these alleys and we don't, I think there's at least debate about whether I can enforce the vehicle code sections. And to be honest with you, the other thing I like about this is if we start hitting 13 and 14-year-old kids, and some of them have to be cited at this point in time. But the vehicle code could lead to an automatic suspension where they can't get a driver's license and lifelong problems happen. So in a way, we're cutting them a break while also taking stepped up enforcement. And I believe that.
Good. So there are incremental penalties. First offense is $100, second violation $250. Third and subsequent violations $500.
Other question? Comment?
Those fines, there's no warnings before those, or is there something to, give some? You have,
Yeah, I never direct my officers to cite or not cite anybody ever on traffic offenses. And that policy will continue the whole time I'm here. I don't believe that should be getting involved in telling officers to either issue a citation or issue a warning. So they'll always have that discretion.
okay.
Other questions? Okay, then can I get a motion to approve the advertising of the e-bike ordinance?
I will make a motion to approve the advertising of the proposed e-bike ordinance.
I'll second.
May, it would be subject to a revision to delete section 2. Sentence.
Okay, so motion to approve the advertising of the e-bike ordinance subject to the removal of the second sentence of section 2, right? I'm good there. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Great, so the next one is a resolution that grants a handicap parking space near 511 East Broad Street. I say near because until we get out there and decide what's the best place for it, I don't want to say, I want them to be able to have some discretion. So the resolution is worded as near and as deemed appropriate by a borough designee, but it is for the property at 511 East Broad. It's not a dedicated space. It's a handicap space for use. This was discussed at work session and moved forward to council.
Any questions for Sarah before we move forward? All right, then can I hear a motion to approve the resolution to grant the handicap space?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-17, granting a handicap parking space near 511 East Broad Street.
I'll second.
Okay, motions by Littlefield and Rogers, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes.
So items C and D, I combined on your recommended motion sheet. So you tonight would be authorizing a resolution 2026-18, which would grant the memorandums of understanding between the Sergeant Borough Police Department and the Sergeant Area School District and the charter school. There are two separate on your agenda, and it authorizes Chief O'Brien to sign the memorandums on behalf of Sergeant Borough. If you guys have questions about the content or the purpose of the memorandum, I would ask that you ask Chief, because he's the better option. I'm gonna punt it over there.
Questions or comments for Chief?
Tell you that all the school districts, all the police departments involved in the school district, go ahead and sign this member. I have read it. It seems to me that it's pretty generic.
The solicitor also read it and didn't have any issues with them. So by authorizing the resolution, you're just authorizing both of them rather than doing two separate motions.
This is not something that council has been asked to do previously?
No.
Well, not council, the police just did it on their own, but
Yeah.
Why did it come to us?
this is the right thing to do, but
You're appropriate. This is just the first time I've seen them.
Okay.
So doesn't Southern Area School District have their own police?
That is correct.
Yeah, I thought so.
I think they have one.
Yeah. Well, I know they have, I've seen their police cars over there and they're marked Southern Area School District Police.
That's correct now.
Mhm.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the memorandums of understanding?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-18, authorizing the memorandum of understandings between Souderton Borough Police Department and the Souderton Area School District and the Souderton Charter School Collaborative, and authorizing Chief O'Brien to sign the memorandums on behalf of Souderton Borough. I give it all.
You have a second?
I'll second.
All right, motion by Councilor Fenchick and Rogers. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
The last one is, an authorization for the use of a line of credit, at the Montgomery Theater. So the Montgomery Theater's building, is a borough property and they have a lease with us. Their lease stipulates, a line of credit that they can use, at the theater for mechanical, and building repairs. And it's more specific, about what, but they're asking for use of the line of credit for, repair of an HVAC unit, which is permissible. This is how John and I both agreed that we should handle this request, just due to the amount of money that they're requesting to spend. But it is permitted by their lease for them to have these funds afforded to them, and they have an availability in the line of credit for the use of it.
Are there any questions about the Montgomery Theaters? Credit rate check. Okay, then do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the Montgomery Theater's utilization of the lease granted line of credit for repairs to the HVAC unit up to 12,000.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilor Dill and Littlefield, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Because you were late arrival, Sarah, I just want to give you a chance, if you are a resident, property owner, business owner, to make public comment. We did have it earlier, but okay. Want to make sure you were good. All right,
We're glad you're here.
we do have an executive session on the agenda, but it's not needed. So that really concludes our business of the night. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Wow.
To adjourn.
I'll second.
You should be in your feet all the time. Yeah. That's not bad.
Officially.
We gotta continue.